Should have had the whole conversation taped. That would have been interesting.
We really should have. Yeah, we would have like, man, they would be drinking through the fire hydrant. Big time.
Exactly.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm here with the Aqus community, and I have John Crawley, the proprietor here, and we have some good things to share about nonprofits to help you be better with your business. John, tell us about yourself.
Well, a little bit. Well, let's focus on myself is a long story, but let's focus a little bit on the nonprofit mixer that we've got coming up soon. It's going to be on February the 19th. It's a Wednesday night, 5:30. So there's this wonderful new art gallery. It's kind of a makerspace / art gallery called Life on Art. Life on Art. They changed it from Life on Earth Art to Life on Art. Great space. If you haven't been there, it's a treat in store for you. It's at 133 Copland, which is beside that grain elevator that everybody knows in town, tallest building in town.
Is that near the CVS, or what is it?
Yes. Yeah, in fact, you can park in CVS and come through a little doorway and you get into the space right there, or you can go up Copland and find parking up there as well, right behind where the block is. This is something that we've been doing for quite a number of years. You'll probably, many of you might know, in fact you brought it up earlier, that video with Elise Hempel in it from 9 years ago.
9 years ago.
It's great. This has been so much fun. We did the networking program and we've really had fun. Some of the nonprofits that were in my speed networking group, I thought I knew everything there was to know about them, and there is stuff that I didn't know. And we made valuable connections. I already have 2 things on my to-do list for some of the other nonprofits.
Now, can you imagine, this has been going on for many years, and I think you had maybe 100 people now, but maybe you're growing. How many people can we expect?
Yeah, we'll probably have about 200 people there.
200 people.
Yeah.
Now, and this is people that are in nonprofits. It could be, I suppose, a management function, a board of director. It could be for people who do fundraising, or maybe just like-minded to get ideas on what other nonprofits do.
Exactly, and also people who want to volunteer with nonprofits. So that's a huge aspect as well. So it's a part of that program that we have for building social capital. And what is social capital? Well, it's just inherent kind of trust levels between people in a community. Mm-hmm. And how do you build social capital? Well, you start off with a conversation. You start with people getting to know each other. And that's one of the most important things. You can't have the second conversation unless you've had the first one. And then all the ones happen out of that one. So this is really about getting that first conversation going with people with similar interests, similar successes, similar challenges in the nonprofit world here in Petaluma and southern Sonoma County. So we get people coming down from Santa Rosa, coming up from Nevada, pretty much all over. We're gathering them all together, and trust me, it's a fun evening.
I was just going to use that word. It sounds like it's a lot of fun.
It is. We have a special format that we've been developing over the past 10 years about making sure that everybody has conversations with everybody else. And if you've been to it, the people who come, they're repeat customers. So we start off with this fun speed networking activity. The second half of it is more hosted conversations where they get into in-depth topics that are of interest to the participants.
People might have a subject matter expertise area, and if you're interested, you go to that breakout group and kind of learn more about that area.
That's exactly it. The second half is exactly about that. It's about maybe you want to have a conversation with somebody about grant writing, or a conversation about maybe getting board members, or you have a conversation about managing your volunteers. All of those kinds of things. We will have lots of opportunity to have wonderful conversations, and the energy in the room is just fantastic. So we'll have some drinks and appetizers there to make sure that everybody feels that they don't have to rush home to eat.
I guess that you can make a donation, $10 or $20, but
yes. Or more.
Is there a cost for
or more?
Yes. Is there a cost for the meals we are expected to pay?
No. I mean, obviously we'll probably sell the beer and wine, but food obviously is gratis. But it really is, and I don't want cost to be any way an inhibitor to people attending. We also have space for sponsors to table at the event. and maybe the opportunity to tell the 200 people present there about what kind of an operation you have, what kind of nonprofit you're involved in.
People can feel free to bring business cards or get down information. So in other words, it's a networking event.
Exactly, networking event, but it's not the kind of event where you go and you hang out beside the peanuts and hope to have a conversation. This is an event where we're going to make sure that everybody has a conversation with the right person that they need to have a conversation with. We do this fun speed networking activity where we gather everybody. I gather everybody into groups of 3 people. The person actually with the darkest eyes starts. And
is that right?
Exactly.
So you have to make eye-to-eye contact? Darn.
I know, it's a tiny little bit, but tell you, the rest of that is just fantastic. And then you've got a minute and 30 seconds to tell 2 other people about yourself, why you're here. But you're talking to the person that you really want to have a conversation with. People doing exactly the same job or has the same challenges or successes that you have in your nonprofit. You're going to meet 200 other people just like that, all in Petaluma.
So it sounds like when you get through with this, although you have a couple hours of fun, is that you're learning a lot, you would get some ideas, and I suppose even build some networks.
That's exactly what it is. It's weaving that fabric in the nonprofit world of people who know and trust and can help each other make the world a better place. And that's really what it's about.
Boy, you took the words right out of my mouth. Making the world a better place. And so just on that note, is that I feel that you do that here at Aqus. But this is going to be actually a nonprofit site. Aqus,
yes.
It is a foundation you're doing. So
yes.
This is not for your business per se.
Correct.
This is just something that you believe in making the world a better place. So for nonprofit organizations.
Exactly that. So we started Aqus Community Foundation in 2015. So we're nearly 10 years old now. So we're grown up. We're in double digits. So and at the core of Aqus Community Foundation is that social capital. It's creating connections, helping people create connections with other people, building trust, and magic just seems to flow out of these things. I mentioned earlier we were talking about the film and video gathering that we do. Just years later, somebody came up to me and said, that mixer that we did, well, now we've got a feature-length movie out of it, and the other person was a documentary, and just magic seems to happen out of just gathering together, getting in conversation, and I just love the magic that happens out of it.
Which kind of makes it sound like you have a little bit of background in this. So I don't know. I don't see you as a professional drinker, but I think you must be know a little bit about pubs, don't you?
Well, exactly. I'm glad you brought that up. So I grew up in an Irish pub. It was my grandfather's, then my father's, and then my brother's. And it was, you look at all Irish towns and communities, there's a church and a couple of pubs.
Yeah, they didn't have meeting halls per se, they met at the pub.
Exactly that. And it was everybody, there was no stratification, it was everybody in there. They're from the mayor and their teachers and their bricklayers and everybody just happily in there being together in one space. That, the whole concept of third spaces where you got your home, you got your work, and then you've got this place called the third spaces, and we're actually sitting in one right now. Mm-hmm. And that was intentional. Why I opened this is because I missed that pub atmosphere that I grew up with, and I wanted to recreate it. And you might get a different sense of where we are, because I nearly expect people here to have conversations with the people sitting at the next table. And you create a connection. And if you notice the way you order, you're standing in line. I hope that people have conversations with people standing in line. Mm-hmm. So again, it's all about those connections that make the world you can't make a world a better place unless you build social capital, build trust between people. So that's what we do. Good.
Now, for them to sign up for this, I assume there's a sign up, and I think there's a website. Tell us about where we go next.
There is indeed, absolutely. So you go to aqus.com/nonprofit. Where is it? Nonprofit gathering.
Aqus.com. That's AQUS.com. Non-profit gathering, all one word, and off you go for sign up.
Exactly. And as you see from the sign up, we're asking people a couple of things like, do you need volunteers? Because we want this to be a very kind of a useful kind of document. We're hoping to produce a kind of a directory of all of the people present and whether they need volunteers or not, who to contact for volunteers. A lot of good stuff will happen out of this.
Grant writing, I see, is one of your sessions. Board development and technology for nonprofits.
Yes, exactly that. So and other people can bring other things as well. If you're an expert in a certain subject matter, come bring it to the table, host a conversation, and people will get something from it. That, as I mentioned, that second part of the mixer is a deep dive where you kind of get into the weeds a little bit.
So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. So that is aqus.com/nonprofit gathering. And when you get there, go ahead and fill out the form. If you can make a donation, that's fine. Even if you can't, we'd like you to go ahead and sign up and show us what your area of interest is. And then we have a session coming up in just a little over a week, isn't it?
What's our session in a week?
When does this start?
This is
February 19th?
This is February 19th.
Okay, so we have a couple of weeks.
We have a couple of weeks. We've had 3 weeks to go before that happens. We're not even February yet, are we?
It
we're
feels
close to
like
it. It does
yes.
feel like February.
Do you have a lot of stuff to do to make that happen?
I've been working with some wonderful people, and one of those big sponsors of this is Life on Earth Art, and they are so wonderful to work with. And either way, I mean, you're going to have a lot of fun exploring the space, but go to it anyway. I mean, you just go and check it out. That's one of them there.
And if you're not with a nonprofit now, maybe here's a good place to sign up, right? You're accepting people, even if they're not with a nonprofit,
exactly.
They can still come.
Exactly. I mean, part of what we want to make sure is very much on kind of the top of the table here is if you want to volunteer, and we all know that volunteering extends your life, brings your happiness level up. I mean, there's no downsides to volunteering. So we encourage people who want to find out about nonprofits to come to this event. We'll have a whole bunch of nonprofits tabling, but you're going to bump into some wonderful people there who will be able to kind of fit you in whatever your volunteering skill is.
Wow. So if a person is not in Petaluma, could they still come?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, and we have people from all over coming.
And if they watch this, some certainly will be after the venue on February 19th, 2025. They can probably still have ways of linking up. How would they do that? Would they come to the Aqus and find out about the foundation? Because I imagine you're kind of a clearinghouse, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. So this mixer is one of many that we do. So later on in March, we've got another again similar mixer for people involved in the mental health industry. So professionals who are in that, so therapists, coaches, anybody who is involved in mental health, again, to get those people together in conversation. I'll talk a little bit about that. Normally, as a therapist, you have a relationship with your client. You don't necessarily have a relationship with other therapists in town. So it's wonderful to see these people kind of, it might be the first time they've ever met. And it's very useful because then they're able to refer, if they need a certain kind of therapy, psychology or whatever, they can refer their clients to other people. And it's just a nice way of kind of developing not a social safety net, but a network of people who care, that know each other, that are really involved in and care about our Petaluma community. So that's another one. We talked earlier about doing a film and video one. We haven't scheduled that one yet, but we will. Wow. We're going to do one for anybody who's involved in writing. So editing, writing, editing, book jacket manufacturers, publishers, get them all in one room, get them all together talking, and again, magic happens out of those kinds of things. So that's kind of the fundamentals of what Aqus Community Foundation does. Really goodwill that we've created, and not just goodwill, but practical stuff that matters. Connections, who does what, I want people to be comfortable knowing where to go when they have a certain challenge within their nonprofit organization to kind of think, okay, I could pick up the phone and chat with Elise, or I could pick up the phone and talk to Susie over there, or to Frank because he knows all about the legal system and those kinds of things. So that's exactly how all systems function a lot better when people know each other.
So it sounds to me like Aqus is a clearinghouse, and the Aqus Foundation also is. So if you need to have clearing or get a better network, especially in nonprofits, be sure to come on February 19th at 5:30 p.m. at 133 Copland. Is that it? 133
Copland. Yes, that's exactly it. I think that's it. Anything else, Wade?
Wonderful. Thanks for your time, John.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Good luck.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet.